late stream tonight. We are back. We took last week off. You might have noticed. It was kind of unplanned. I was watching the State of the Union of the joint address. I was planning to go on after that. And then the speech ended. I looked up, it was 10:10. I was like, I'm late. And then I was like, well, I might as well not do one Thursday. So, other shows take some hiatus. So I gave myself a week off. I hope you haven't completely forgotten about the late stream. If you had, then maybe you should subscribe. Right there, yeah, subscribe. We're still waiting for that 50th subscriber. We offered a prize in the last episode. If you want to check that out, that's episode 5. That was our guest list show with Tim and Will and Cooney working on the camera. You can check that out and see what the prize is. I'm going to up the ante tonight. If you are our 50th subscriber, you will get the prize, as mentioned in the last episode, and a handwritten thank you note from Tim Tenders himself. How amazing is that? Don't wait. We're not going to up this again. Maybe we will, but we really want that 50th subscriber. So it could be you. Just push the button and get a free thing and a note from Tim. It'll be great. Anyway, tonight I want to give a heartfelt apology to David Rothschild. David was our first musical guest on our very first show. Now, here's why David is owed an apology. So after we did the show 2 weeks ago on Thursday, because I was going on a little ski trip with my brother and some of his friends. It was a lot of people from the college that we went to. It was a lot of people who you see them on campus, but you've never had a conversation with. So I was with 18 of those guys who I recognized, but I didn't really know who they were. And believe it or not, I'm a little socially awkward in those types of situations. So, I was just trying to be nice. And anyway, we get there on Friday night. We had a late flight. We get in around 1 o'clock. I'm sleeping on a couch. I try to be quiet, get down, go right to sleep. Wake up the next morning. There were 2 couches in the basement. I wake up the next morning. I see the guy who was sleeping when I came in. I said, hey, what's up? I'm Brett. Hope I didn't wake you up. Anyway, then we go out, have an amazing day of skiing. It was fantastic skiing. And to our lovely hosts, the Roushes, thank you again for having me. But so then the day goes by, we come back, and after skiing, everyone there's a little bit of a hot tub action in shifts because there were 18 of us. So I'm on the last shift, and I was kind of just waiting for it to kind of cool down. The people leave, I get in. And, I'm sitting there with the guy who was sleeping across from me, and he starts talking about, he lives in LA, and he's coming to New York, and he plays music. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy looks kind of familiar, it's interesting. And we start talking, and I'm like, the only venue that I really know of is my living room on my late night talk show. And I mentioned the late stream, some people, some bites. I'm not sure if anyone watched it from that. I gotta be better at selling the show in person. But, so anyway, this kid David, he mentions, get a break, blah, blah, blah. I then start to think, I'm like, wow, this guy, he looks really familiar. And I was so many names being thrown around, I didn't really remember. I hear someone call him Rothschild later in the evening, and it kind of clicks for me, but like I said, I don't know. He hadn't said anything. I hadn't said anything. It seemed like the moment had passed for me to be able to be like, oh, you were the guy who was on my first episode. And I didn't know for sure because, if you watched that first episode, go back and watch it if you want. But it was kind of a clusterfuck. There were tons of technical issues. We didn't know how to do the live stream thing properly. We were all over the place. Tensions were high. I guess I kind of had blacked out and kind of had forgotten everything about that episode, except, of course, for my lovely sister-in-law, who was my guest. Go check that out if you haven't, episode 1. The next day, David leaves. He and a bunch of other people were leaving early Sunday morning. I was getting another day of skiing in, and I meant, everyone else at this place was going to wash you, and I mentioned to one of my brother's friends, I go, hey, that kid, David Rothschild, he went to Wash U, and he goes, no, he didn't go. I go, he went to Duke. And I was like, oh my God, this was the guy who was on my show, and I didn't remember him. What a terrible host I am to not remember not only the people who were on my show, but the person who was a musical guest doing me a personal favor on my very first show. And to be honest, David, no offense to Lindsay or to any of the writers on the show, David was most definitely the best part of that episode. So, David, I hope if you watch this, I hope you're watching this. I'll friend you on Facebook as we're doing this. We can really connect. But my heartfelt apologies for not recognizing you and for being a bit of a dick during our Sellers of Catan game, which you won fair and square. So as an apology, in addition to this, I'm going to put up now, without any further ado, a rerun of that musical performance from our first episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, David Rothschild. Woo.
Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. There's hours left to look this way. Lights won't fade to change their shade, but burning's bright, they won't look the same as they do on Christmas Day.